Hey, what's up, NFL nerds? We're back with another 2019 NFL prediction video. Sorry I haven't posted in a few days, guys. I was actually out of town for a few days, and when I came back, I had to go to work today. It's been a crazy weekend. But anyways, we're back with the Detroit Lions prediction for the 2019 season. So far, I have for the NFC North, I have the Packers going 8-8, the Vikings going 9-7, the Bears going 13-3. I think those are all pretty reasonable predictions. Um, I think the Bears will take over the division, but yeah, let's go ahead and jump it right into it. They'll be kicking off the season playing in Arizona against the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals have made some additions here with Kyler Murray, um, and I think overall they actually drafted pretty well. I'd give them one of the highest rankings for the draft, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really help them all that much this season. And the Lions, I think, had an all right offseason too. I really like on Johnson. I'm sorry if I slaughtered that name. Um, but yeah, they have on Johnson. If he stays healthy all year, I think he'll be pretty damn good. I think he's a lot better than people realize. Um, yeah, I see the Lions taking this one. Then they will be playing at the Chargers. Now, I've mentioned before, I think the Chargers are the most complete team in the NFL. Um, and they've got some stars at certain positions too. Melvin Gordon, I think is at least a top 10 running back, arguably top 5. Keenan Allen is arguably a top 10 wide receiver. Um, what was that other guy's name? Is it Travis Benjamin? I don't know if I got the right name there, but he's a good receiver there too. They've got a good defense. Philip Rivers will still perform at a high level. Um, I think they're gonna beat the Lions there. Then they will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I've mentioned before, I think the Eagles are pretty overrated. I know it's probably going to get some hate, but, what can I say? I think the Eagles are a little overrated. Um, and, I'm not going to say that I think the Lions will be a playoff team, but I think they'll be better than necessarily what their record shows, and better than people think they are. And this might be a um I guess surprise game of the week. I couldn't think of the right word right there. But I think this is actually going to be the Lions win. I think they're going to catch the Eagles off guard. I think the Eagles um, are going to be looking too far ahead in the season and I guess overlook the Lions, and I just don't think they're going to beat them. It'll be a close game, but I see the Lions taking it. Then they'll be playing in Kansas City against the Chiefs. Now I have the Chiefs so far 3-1. According to the other teams that they were playing. Um, they'll have Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't sound like Tyreek Hill is gonna be suspended. Damian Williams will still be at least an average running back, maybe a little above average. Who knows? Travis Kelce is still arguably the best tight end in the league. They don't have much of a defense, but with that offense, they'll be putting up probably close to 40 points a game. They'll be damn good. And I think the Chiefs are taking it. So then they'll be coming off a bye and will be traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. I have mentioned before, I think the Packers are a little overhyped this season as well. But division-wise, it's usually been kind of a mentality for each of the other teams in the division that, the Packers usually win that. And with them playing in Green Bay, I see them beating the Lions. So, I mean, it'll be close, but I think Aaron Rodgers will have a pretty good game there. Then they will be playing at home against the Minnesota Vikings. This game was hard to predict. I think the Vikings are overall a pretty noticeably better team than the Lions. But, like I said, divisional games can go either way, and they're playing in Detroit. I think it's at least fair to expect the Lions to win that game. Like I said, it'll be close, but I think the Lions can pull it off. Then they will be playing at home against the New York Giants. I am so sorry, Giants fans. I know so far I have you going 2-6, as you see right there, but I honestly see the Lions taking this. If I'm being honest, I think the only really good players the Giants have are obviously Saquon Barkley, and Evan Ingram's really good too. Sterling Shepard isn't really bad either, but yeah. I think they have Golden Tate now, don't they? I think they added Golden Tate, which he's getting old. He's a little washed up. I mean, he was never really like a star wide receiver, but I think he is getting a little bit washed up even. And I think the Lions are going to take the win on that one. Then they'll be playing in Oakland to take on the Raiders. I expect Antonio Brown to have a pretty big game here. I actually expect this to be a pretty offensive game. I think the Raiders will be more dominant in the passing game in this one, and the Lions will be more dominant in the running game here. But I think the Lions will be able to capitalize on a lot of their drives and actually score more. And with them running the ball so much, it's going to take up a lot of possession time. And I think the Lions are going to take it. I've already touched on this one in the Bears prediction video. Make sure you go check that out. I was actually live streaming for that one, so if you want to see, how I did for that live stream, make sure you go check that out. Yeah, I don't think that the Lions are going to be beating the Bears either time. As you see here, I have the Bears beating them the second time as well. The Bears, I think they own that division. It's close, but the Bears, I think, are a much better team. Then they'll be playing against the Cowboys. Now, I really hate to say this, but damn, the Cowboys have an easy schedule. Like, they're going 7-2. I'm just gonna hurry and just zoom over here for a minute to the Cowboys one. So to the Cowboys one. So, the Dolphins. I they're playing the Saints, and like I mentioned in the Saints prediction video, which go and check that out as well, by the way. I think it'll be a little bit like this last year's game, where it was a super defensive game, but the Cowboys pull it off. But I mean, they're playing the Packers, they're playing the Jets. The Vikings are a pretty good team too, but I mean, the Cowboys have a damn good defense and an offense that's getting better. Um, the that one will be a really defensive game. With the Bills. Sorry, I don't know if I have it set to record my cursor, so sorry if you can't really see what I'm really clicking on. But I mean, overall, it just looks like the Cowboys have a pretty easy schedule, and I don't know, man. But anyways, back to the Lions, because, we're here to predict the Lions, not the Cowboys. But then they'll be playing the Redskins, and I've mentioned that the Redskins are a little bit of a sleeper team this year, and, they'll be a little bit better, especially if they start Dwayne Haskins. But I don't think they're really ready to take that next step into being a possible playoff team. I don't really see it. So, I'm giving that one to the Lions. I already mentioned the Bears were taking that one. I don't feel like I need to touch on that again. I have them going 1-1 against the Vikings. I've mentioned that before. Feel free to check out that video as well. I know I'm kind of promoting my other predictions right now, but go and check them out. There might be something in there that you agree with or don't agree with, but feel free to let me know. Then they will be playing the Buccaneers, and I mean, this will be a close game. This was hard for me to predict, but I mean, you can't have the Buccaneers losing every game, because there's at least one or two games of the season that they just play phenomenally. And I know that's mostly with Fitzmagic, which they don't have anymore. But I mean, Jameis Winston, he can still at least, pass for a few hundred yards a game, and he's got Mike Evans, who I think, honestly, if he was with, a better quarterback, I think he could honestly be top 3 at least, possibly even the best wide receiver in the NFL. Like, if he had Patrick Mahomes or Drew Brees or, hell, even Russell Wilson, someone that's just better than Jameis Winston, I think he can be, top 3, maybe even the best receiver in the NFL, and, I think that can be one of the games that the Bucs win. Then they'll be playing against the Broncos. Why did that pop up? I did not click on that. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. They will be playing in Denver against the Broncos. I mentioned before, I think, at least, that the Broncos are not going to be all that great this year. I don't think they're going to be horrible. They're not going to be the worst team in the NFL, but they're not going to be great. I think the Lions can take it. So, I mentioned before, I have the Packers sweeping the Lions. Okay. I already made that set in stone, so I'm not gonna try to change it. But I could see the Lions and Packers going 1-1 against each other. There's a few of these games I could see the Lions winning that I don't have them winning, and vice versa. But I feel like 7-9 is a pretty good prediction for the Lions. I think they'll take a step or two up from this last year, and at least get a little bit closer to getting back to the playoffs. Now, Matt Stafford, he's a really underrated quarterback. I feel like in a better offensive system with better coaching, I think he could be a pretty damn good quarterback. But he's had bad luck with injuries. He's had not so great teams around him, not so great coaching. But I think they have to build around him more for the next few years, because unless they draft a freaking amazing quarterback in the next few years, unless they build around Matt Stafford, they're not going to be going back to the playoffs. I think they need to change up their coaching a little bit too. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you agreed with and didn't agree with in this prediction. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like on the video. And I will see you next time when we're doing a new division. Later.